Good evening, everyone. My name's Joe Hunter Law, and I'd like to welcome you to this Springfield Township State of the Township. I am the chairman of the board of the Township Trustees. Here this evening, we also have with us Mark Burning, one of the other trustees. Due to a family emergency, Gwen McFarland will not be able to be here tonight, and our fiscal officer, Dan Burning, is also out of town. I want to welcome you, and we appreciate you all taking time out of your busy schedules to come out here tonight and allow us to give you a presentation on what some of our accomplishments have been here in the past year or so, and what the emphasis in our programs are going to be for this coming year. Typically, we've had this State of the Township meeting on Sunday afternoons, and we decided to switch it to a Thursday night this year to see if it wasn't maybe more convenient. It looks like we have a pretty good turnout. Sometimes we were fighting basketball games and other things to have them during the day. We'd like to get your feedback on whether or not you think this is a better format. And we're also going to have a survey that we would ask for you to complete and turn in at the end of the meeting. This event is an opportunity for the board to share with our residents some of our accomplishments over the past year. After this meeting is over and we've had an opportunity to present some of our new programs going forward, our staff, who is all over here, I won't go through and introduce everybody by name, but we have everybody here from the police and fire department and service departments, and they'll be here to answer any individual questions, as well as Mark Burning and I and the rest of the administration. So if you have questions or concerns, we'll be here to talk to you after the meeting. I've had the good fortune of serving as your township here, as your trustee here in Springfield Township for the past 22 years. During that time, we've certainly had a lot of challenges. Our goal has always been to try to provide the best services possible to our residents in the most efficient manner. And over the years, there's certainly been many times where that's proven to be difficult, but we've always looked for efficient and innovative ways to perform that and spend your tax dollars as wisely as possible. The present environment presents us with a set of new challenges, and as we go forward, we're going to be using the same dedication and commitment to address those. Tonight's presentation, I think you're going to find very interesting. I'm going to turn the mic over here to Mike Hennenkamp in a minute, our township administrator, who's going to summarize some of the past achievements of the township and talk a little bit about the future. Chris Gilbert will then talk more about what's coming up. This is a special meeting tonight. This is the last State of the Township where Mike Hennenkamp will be the administrator of our township. Mike has decided that he's going to pursue other careers after 22 years here, and I want to take just a moment to thank him for everything that he's done. Mike's leadership, passion, and professionalism is spread through all our departments, all our department heads, all our employees, all the staff, and he has truly transformed Springfield Township over the past 22 years. Springfield Township is looked on as a leader in local government in Ohio. We constantly have people coming to us and saying, how did you do that? How did you fix that problem? And so Mike's leadership is shown in every corner of this township. And I could go on here. I was going to start listing all the various things that Mike has overseen or done, from creating our township fire department to building the buildings to I mean, I could go on for really the rest of the hour just listing all the things that he's done. So I'm not going to do that. But with further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Mike, and he'll fill you in on some exciting developments. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe. Good evening, everybody. I appreciate the kind words, Joe, but boy, you're going to make that a tough act to live up to now. Now I actually got to say a lot of good and important things that's going to live up to that billing. Again, good evening, everybody, and we appreciate you coming out tonight on, gosh, what is today? I think we had a little bit of spring this morning, and we're back to winter. I think we're kind of reversed. Isn't March supposed to come in like a lion and go out like a lamb? Well, today we started kind of like a lamb and then back out as a lion. So welcome to Ohio weather. As Joe talked about, a lot of changes over the years, and tonight we've got a little bit of change, as he mentioned. We've certainly changed things up from the format, and I agree with Joe. It looks like a Thursday evening might be a better night than doing a Sunday afternoon. And when you don't have to compete with basketball or sports, probably always a good thing, although we got a little basketball going on later tonight. But as Joe mentioned, this is also a bittersweet event for me tonight because this is my last, and this is the 10th annual Township, State of the Township that we've done. But actually, as Joe said, I've been for 22 years. And after 30 years in local government and 22 here in Springfield Township, I did decide I think it's a good time to move on. And I think I read somewhere it said, what's the best time to think about retirement is before your bosses think of retirement for you. And so in my case, I have 3, and so I want to definitely make sure I got ahead of that curve. Typically in this presentation, we spend a little time talking about what was accomplished during the past year, in this case 2017, and then we talk about some of the new challenges that we think are in front of us, and then what our future and what our plans are to address those challenges. So tonight, much of the same type of presentation, but as Joe said, a little different in that given my situation, it's an opportunity for us to look back really very briefly at the last 22 years and celebrate the accomplishments, not my accomplishments, but the accomplishments of this community, the accomplishments of this incredible team that I've been so privileged and so fortunate to work with, the elected officials that I've served with, this current board, and some of the past trustees that we've had, and of course the incredible staff that we've had. It's also an opportunity for me to express my gratitude to the community. I've had such incredible support over these past 22 years from the residents and from the business community in this township who have supported me so much. And then this is also a great opportunity for us to sort of formally talk about the leadership transition from me to Chris Gilbert. Chris will be presenting here in the second half of this evening and kind of talk about where we're going in the future as we make that transition. For the last 22 years, our focus really has been, our mission in the township is one that is really focused on continuous improvement. We've looked at ways in which we can adapt to the changing times and continually evolve so that we can make the community better, not just for one particular group, but for the community as a whole. And our goal throughout that entire process internally with our staff has to be the best. I mean, that's the thing that we use all the time is we want to be the best at providing local services. We want this to be the best community for you to live as a resident. We want this to be the best community if you're a business owner for you to do business in. And of course, we want it to be the best place for our employees to work. Because if we're doing and we're hitting on that and our employees find this to be the best place to work, of course they're going to deliver the best type of services for our residents. This is a unique community. It is not the easiest community to manage. It is not the easiest community to communicate with, just given some of the physical configurations that we deal with. We have portions of 7 school districts in Springfield Township, so oftentimes it's tough to find that common constituency when there's so much individual, needs by school districts or other things. But I think we've been able to overcome some of those challenges as a result of the fact that the quality of the team that we have. And that starts at the top with our elected officials. We've been so blessed to have elected officials who have been so passionate and so committed about doing the right thing. And oftentimes the right thing isn't the most popular thing. And this board has never taken the easy way out. They've always done what they knew would be in the long-term best interest of the community. Our law director has been so instrumental in much of the innovation that we've been able to achieve. And then, of course, our department heads. And we're a service organization. And our police department, our fire department, and the employees in our public works are really second to none. And they have been why we have been able to achieve, I think, and get a long way towards our goal of being the best. I think one of the other really most important aspects of that has been the partnership that we've had with our community and the board's commitment to strategic planning and community engagement. Events like this, events like our strategic plans, where we've engaged our community and allowed them to actively participate in the process and the planning in our decision making. This partnership, again, is critical. It doesn't fall on any one person. It takes a community of residents that get engaged, the business community, the elected officials, and the staff. And we've been so blessed to have that over the years. Our residents have made it very clear where their priorities are through the processes, through our master planning and through our visioning process, and given us clear direction as to what was most important to them. And as a result, we've been able to take that partnership and move forward to get things accomplished over the years. Looking back a little bit, as Joe mentioned, a lot of really positive things. We consolidated 9 fire districts back in 1996 into one, and we created one of the preeminent fire and EMS departments in the state of Ohio. This department, as well as all of our departments, have achieved the highest service ratings as exemplified by their national accreditations, by some of the awards that they have received, and of course by the recognition and the feedback that we receive from you, our residents and business owners. We've built new facilities, we've improved our Main Street, and we've created 2 nonprofit organizations. Our Springfield Township Community Improvement Incorporation to foster economic development opportunities in Springfield Township, and also our Arts Connect, Arts and Enrichment, to promote arts in communities through education and through events. And we'll talk about those in just a little bit. Also very proud of what we've been able to do with our succession team. 3 years ago, we had the transition in 2 of our departments. Our police department is our police chief, who had been an employee of Springfield Township for nearly 35, almost 40 years, retired. And we made that smooth transition with Chief Browder. We did similarly in our Public Works Department, from John Musselman to Mike Gould. And of course tonight, and in a few weeks, we're going to make that transition from myself to Chris Gilbert. And it's been, as I said, I've been very proud of the fact that we're not going to miss a beat, because these are individuals that we've been grooming on this team to be able to take the township to that next level. Most recently, one of the biggest challenges we had a few years ago was a deep financial crisis that we faced, mostly due to changes by our state legislature, but through very aggressive actions by the board, new programs, and taking some very drastic steps. I'm happy to report that not only did we overcome that financial crisis, but as we sit here today and as a result of our financials that we're going to be going through here in a few weeks, Springfield Township, our general fund is in better shape than it's ever been in our history. We have bigger surpluses than we've ever had in Springfield Township's history. So we've gone just about in 4 years from some of the worst condition to really, quite frankly, the best position. Now, that doesn't mean we're flush with money and we don't know what to do with it. There's many challenges still ahead, as Joe said, but we're positioned well to meet those challenges. Our police district fund also sits where we're very comfortable to being able to say for the next 5 years we're comfortable that there won't be levies. The fire district, a little different given some of the things that are happening with fire staffing, but we're working very, very closely, and Chris will talk about these things here in just a few minutes. On the 13th, at the board's next regular meeting, there'll be a public hearing at 5:30 on Tuesday, March the 13th. So if you want to know better or in more detail what our current financial situation is and what we're planning for in 2018, a great opportunity to attend that meeting to learn more. And of course, if you can't make that meeting, you can go on the website, the township website, where we post all of our financials, where our revenues are received from, our expenditures, and you can even get and look at every check that is written. Our checkbook essentially is online. Very interactive and pretty easy to use, but that information is on our website. So we talked about a little earlier the services in Springfield Township. This is our bread and butter. This is really what we're here to do, is to provide service to our businesses and to our residents. And we're very proud to say that our 3 major departments as of this year will be accredited. Our police department has been accredited and was our first. Our fire and EMS department is accredited through the National Academy, or the Greater Cincinnati Academy of Medicine. And this year we are starting the process for our public works department to be accredited. Our fire department, fire and EMS department this year was able to achieve an ISO 2 rating. For those of you who don't know what that is an insurance service industry rating of fire departments, and it basically affects what you pay for your homeowners. It's especially important for business owners on what they pay on their insurance. But what it really is reflective of the quality. There are about 47,000 fire departments throughout the United States, and this puts us in the top 1,000 of those 47 in that ISO. Only about 1,000 fire departments throughout the country have achieved that type of rating. We've also been able to achieve for this facility here, has won, I believe, for the 2nd or 3rd straight year. This facility is used for weddings and for different events, and it was the Couples Choice Award for this year. Infrastructure has been, of course, a very important part of what we're doing in 2017. $8.5 million worth of infrastructure improvements took place township-wide. Specifically, Springfield Township expended $2.8 million on road repair, sidewalk repair, stormwater drainage repairs, and we did repavement projects for 28 streets. We're looking at much of the same coming forth as we go forth this year. We had another busy year with activities for our residents, the arts and enrichment. Most of these, a good portion of these free events, but over 32 events took place in 2017 and over 8,500 residents attended. We initiated a summer program, and in its first year, that program achieved accreditation by the American Camp Association. So tremendous growth, great opportunities. The big function of creating these nonprofits was to take the burden off the taxpayers, and happy to report that nearly $50,000 were generated this year from non-governmental grants and individual donations. So a lot of this taking place without being on the township's coffers. And again, a great year in economic development. Our CIC, we saw over $11 million in new investment in Springfield Township. We issued 306 residential incentive grants. These are grants that go to residents in Springfield Township, totaling just under $200,000. We issued just under $50,000 worth of grants to neighborhoods in Springfield Township to do neighborhood improvements. We saw new retail development. We're just now seeing a new medical office building that is going through the rezoning process, and we're on the cusp of a very, very big project that we were hoping tonight we'd be able to talk a little bit more, but it's just not quite there. But we're looking forward to making that announcement. Chris will be here shortly to talk about some of those things that will be happening. We've also embarked in a community branding program. We've been advertising, promoting Springfield Township in Cincinnati Magazine. It was an insert. We're looking at a new signage program. You've seen our banner. And at the end of this evening, we're going to be showing you a promotional video, which is all entertaining and kind of talking about the things that we're trying to do to brand Springfield Township in a very positive way. On your table, I believe, is a copy of the insert that was in Cincinnati Magazine. On our website, if you look for our annual report, many of the things that I'm talking about and that Chris is going to talk about here in a little bit are in that annual report, so we certainly would invite you to check that out on the website. Hard copies, I believe, will be ready. Do we have them here tonight, Kim? Not quite here yet tonight, but we will have them most likely either by the end of the week or early next week, but it is available on the website. Before I wrap up and close and introduce Chris Gilbert, who, as I mentioned, will talk about kind of where we're going in the future in the township, I just wanted to take this opportunity to really express my deepest gratitude to everybody in this room and to everybody in Springfield Township for the opportunity that I've had to serve as Township Administrator. It has been an absolute joy to do it. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I have been so blessed to be able to work with so many high-quality people, both on our staff and in this community. I will miss this township and what I do here every day more than really words can describe. I'm very excited about what I'm going to be doing in the future. I'm very much looking forward to it, but I'm also very excited about what the opportunity and what the future looks like here in Springfield Township. And I know that this is a good time to leave because the township's in excellent hands. As I've mentioned, we have an outstanding leadership at our elected official level. We have outstanding leadership with our department heads, and the quality of each of our individual employees is second to none as well. And of course, Chris, who will be leading that staff. Chris has served the township for the past 14 years, and I've been very fortunate to work very closely with him, to watch Chris grow and learn and develop into the person that he is today. I've had the opportunity to learn from him. I believe he will do an outstanding job leading the township into the future and taking the township really to the next level. I am very, very pleased and very happy to introduce right now the next Township Administrator of Springfield Township, Chris Gilbert.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Mike. Nobody in Springfield Township is probably going to miss you more than I am. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot of maybe what not to do as well. And so I've got to learn and be mentored by you, and I think because of that and because of the things I've learned from you, hopefully I'll be able to impart that in my leadership of the township, and the future will be bright. So I do appreciate it. I'm very humbled by the opportunity. I'm excited, and I'm proud that I get to continue to serve this community. I apologize. This is something I've been working towards for almost 20 years. So I'm confident, I'm optimistic, and I'm dedicated to ensure that this township's future is as promising as its past has been successful. So, thank you. So, where are we going? And I apologize, this mic is a little strange. I feel like a little bit like Tony Robbins doing a motivational speech up here with this thing. But we are going to, four core things we're going to continue to do in Springfield Township, and then I'm going to carry over from Mike's legacy as the administrator. We're going to continue to be providing the best service to this community. That's something that our staff is going to continue to pursue and something that I will continue to try and instill in them. This is a quote, and I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it yourself, but it is Jack Welch, the former CEO of GE, and why he was so successful there during his tenure was that he knew that unless internally they adapted and evolved and changed at a rate equal to or faster than the external environment, that their community or their organization was going to fail. That's something we realize as well, and as Mike indicated in his speech, we will continue to adapt and evolve to ensure that this community responds to the external forces to keep us ahead of the curve. This is something Jim Borgman did in the Cincinnati Enquirer I thought was funny, but at the end of the day, what it basically boils down to is we're going to continue to be transparent and accountable to the public. Everything we do, from our online checkbook to having meetings like this or to respond to any questions or concerns that our residents may have, we have an open door policy, and we will continue to be transparent and accountable to the community we serve. And lastly, we will continue to have events like this, provide community concerts, camps, plays, anything we can do to ensure that the quality of life in Springfield Township remains strong. As Joe indicated and as Mike talked about, while we're in great financial shape today, there are still challenges. And we will continue to tackle those challenges as we have for the past 22 years under Mike's leadership. We will utilize our performance stat team, our elite training program that trains our staff to think critically, to do analysis, to determine how we can continue to be the best, evolve, innovate, and be one of the leaders in local government. Some of those challenges, as Mike already talked about, obviously communication. This community is a very difficult community to communicate with. We will continue to utilize new technology, media, from the social media platforms, and different ways in which to communicate our message to the public. You see the recruiting poster up here for the fire department. As Mike talked about, the fire department is experiencing a shortage in firefighters right now, not necessarily our department, but recruiting those. The market is significantly down in the availability of people to serve as part-time firefighters. So with that, we have to find different and more innovative ways to recruit those individuals to serve this community. Traditionally, it's been with part-timers. It's just not working any longer. Those individuals aren't just there to work part-time anymore. So we're looking at new and innovative ways, from figuring out how we can provide spots for more full-time, looking at sort of positions that are in between part and full-time for those individuals that are newly coming up through the ranks, and sort of our minor league team, so that when full-time spots open up, we have qualified individuals that are trained in our ways to take those spots. Additionally, we're looking outside of our boundaries to looking at communities that would benefit from the services that we provide here locally. Maybe they'd be willing to do that for a fee and take part in knowing what you guys already know, that you have the best paramedic service in probably the country. And how can we provide that service to others for a fee so that we can bring in an alternative source of revenue and try and hopefully lower that burden on the shoulders of property taxpayers from a residential side. Because we know taxes are high in Springfield Township. We're aware of that. And we're doing everything we can every day to ensure that we can stretch the time that these levies are able to provide those services, and always looking for alternative revenue sources beyond that just of the property taxpayer. Additionally, what we'll be looking for in the future is infrastructure again. As Mike indicated, last year we had one of our most successful years in repaving and reconditioning streets in Springfield Township. In 2018, we looked to improve upon that. I expect that there will be close to $10 million in township-wide improvements. That, coupled with the county's project on Winton Road, they're going to be, and I'm sure everyone is excited about this, they will be repaving Winton Road from Fleming to the Green Hills Corporation line this summer. You can clap now. I know everyone wants to. I don't know if there's any dentists in the township. They probably don't want to hear that, because they got a lot of business from people traveling on that road, rattling the teeth out of your head. But in any event, the county will be repaving Winton Road as well as Daly, and the township will be spending almost $3 million of township funds in infrastructure to repave 34 streets, which I think is a record in Springfield Township. Additionally, as Mike indicated, there's some very successful programs that we're working through in economic development. As he indicated, the medical office community is very interested in Springfield Township. We are on the cusp of a very large development, and I expect, hopefully, if we can get all the ducks and the stars to align in a row in 2018, that we will see somewhere between 70 to 100,000 square foot of brand-new medical office in Springfield Township. That's big. That's huge. And I think what that shows is that Springfield Township is positioned in a strategic location to take advantage of where the medical office community wants to be. We will continue to work with the Hamilton County Land Reutilization Corporation. That's a fancy word for saying land bank. Basically what that means is we're going to work with them to take control of tax delinquent and foreclosed blighted properties in Springfield Township and put them back to a productive use. We're going to continue to work with Ready of Cincinnati and Jobs Ohio. Those are two statewide organizations that are administered here locally that allow us to position Springfield Township to market available industrial sites so that we can, again, increase the commercial assessed valuation of Springfield Township, which in turn will hopefully lower that property tax burden on our residential taxpayers. Additionally, one of the new businesses, while it hasn't formally went through the zoning process yet, we're excited about the citrus tree market. How many of you have? Fantastic, fantastic. Well, then you'll enjoy this. This is the market that operates seasonally at the intersection of Corbett and Winton. The individual who purchased that property several years ago is now looking to operate a year-round market in that location. The best way I can describe it is sort of a scaled-down version of sort of an open-air market like Findlay during the summer, and then the winter kind of operate like a Whole Foods. There will be a market and grill associated with it, and we think it's strategically located next to Winton Woods and Hellwood Park to be a mainstay and what we think our residents will choose to shop at. I think it's a great addition, and hopefully Terry Diefenbacher, who I don't believe is here tonight, but he's invested millions of dollars in our community to make this happen for the residents. So I'm excited to announce that. Additionally, we'll be working with our partners in the city of Cincinnati at the Hartwell Community Association on the Vine Street Business Corridor. We're always looking at our business corridors, not just Winton Road, but in Vine Street as well as Hamilton Avenue, to ensure that those areas remain strong and we find ways to improve them. As Mike indicated, our Springfield Township Community Improvement Corporation will be unveiling 3 new initiatives this year. One of which is a partner program to our Neighborhood Enhancement Grant, and it will be the Business Improvement Program. Essentially what that will do, it will allow us to provide grants to businesses to improve their business in Springfield Township, whether that be in addition, new equipment, or just simply beautifying the exterior aesthetics of their property to improve the look of the business areas in Springfield Township. We're excited about that program, and it's something the business community has been asking for some time. Additionally, we know that most of the businesses in Springfield Township and most of the job growth will occur in our existing businesses that are here. As a result, we're going to be embarking on a business retention and expansion program where we will personally visit businesses every month to meet with them and figure out what their needs are and how we as Springfield Township can help them and be their liaison if they need to deal with state, federal, and/or county agencies. Lastly, we will be looking at creating a community reinvestment area where we can provide incentives for those business communities to invest in some of our more, not necessarily impoverished, but some of our areas that haven't experienced the investment that some of the other areas have. So how do we make sure that private business investment is spread throughout the community and not just in the area that tends to be the most popular? Additionally, as Mike talked about, we will be continuing with our Arch Connect programs, bringing concerts, plays, different events and theater programs to Springfield Township to enrich and improve the quality of life for our residents. Lastly, Springfield Township is a special place, and ironically, Katrina Ruggles is here, and I had a conversation with her earlier, and she sort of hit the nail on the head. Staff always has opportunities to look at other communities to work in. Undoubtedly, Mike in his career, myself in the 15 years I've been here, we've always had opportunities to look at other jobs and go elsewhere and work in other communities. Sometimes we've looked at them, other times we knew we didn't want to go there. But ultimately, what it came down to is, why would we want to work or be anywhere else? Katrina said it when we were talking before the meeting. She was looking at moving possibly, and Katrina, by the way, is a township resident and also is a board member of Winton Woods City School. So she had indicated they were looking at other communities and thought, why would I want to go anywhere else? And she listed off a few attributes of Springfield Township, and I agree with her. It's a community that has great culture, diversity, provides unique events like the Greek Festival, has unique shopping opportunities like we mentioned Citrus Tree, soon to come, Country Fresh Market, Humbert Meats, those local people that provide the services that we enjoy so much. Additionally, Winton Woods Park. It's an asset that I don't think we tout enough in Springfield Township and probably don't take advantage of enough. And lastly, as our new slogan says, we're center to it all. Where else can you be anywhere in 15 minutes? The access, the geographic location of this community is tremendous. And I think, hopefully, we all realize that. In the video that Mike alluded to earlier, which we'll show here in just a second, if you'll indulge me, it hopefully allows us to remember why you moved here to begin with, why you've chose to stay here, and why we as staff choose to work here, is that it's a special place, and sometimes we have to look elsewhere to be reminded as to why we're staying where we're at. So, again, I'm happy that I was chosen to continue to lead this community. Again, I'm excited about it, and hopefully this video that I'm going to show here in just a second will allow you to be excited about where you live as well.
There is a place where one smile grows to the next. A place where home becomes more than just a place to live. A place to belong. A community to take pride in. This place is our home. Our center is Springfield Township. In just a moment's drive, we are immersed in the excitement of our region's beauty and cultural richness. We are centered to the area's best attractions, sporting events, shopping, and cuisine. And here at home, life is simple, comfortable, easy. We enjoy fresh meats from the local butcher and seasonal produce of the market. In our center, we are one with nature, filled with new experiences, creativity, and pride. We hike the trails, fish the lake, and golf the greens of Winton Woods. We cross the historic covered bridge built on a foundation of hard work. We study hard, play with our hearts, and rise to the occasion. We experience the arts and give tribute to the legacy in our hometown. We grow our faith and embrace tradition. We count on our doctors, providing care for those we love. We recognize our accomplishments and what it means to the big picture. And we protect this place. Our center we hold dear. Springfield Township is a community committed to making our center sustainable and strong. Here in our center, we roll up our sleeves and we work together to ensure a bright future. We build and innovate projects with care, business, dreams, homes, and families. We continue to walk the extra mile and stay committed. Our future is filled with promising opportunity. We welcome you to take a look and be a part of our center. Experience the rewards in living simply, connected by location, surrounded by convenience. Find your center, Springfield Township, center to it all.
Hopefully that reminded you why you chose to move here to begin with and why you choose to stay here. Now I'd like to introduce our staff. I know this is a community that expects and demands great service, and luckily for you, you have a staff that takes great pride in providing that great service. So with further ado, we have Rob Router, our police chief in the back. Rick Bro, our assistant fire chief. Rick Bly, our assistant police chief. Nick Peterson, sergeant in the police department. Tom Schneider, director of the senior service at Community Center in the Grove Banquet Hall. Kim Flam, director of communications and events and marketing. Kathleen Kennedy, director of administrative services. Obviously, she has a fan club here tonight. Larry Mullins, human resources director. Mike Gould, director of infrastructure and development. Kim Cox, our finance director. I think that's everyone, right? All right. Just making sure. So I do appreciate it, everyone. We will be sticking around afterwards to answer any questions and hear any concerns you may have or provide any input you'd like to. We really appreciate you coming out tonight. Joe, Mike, I don't know if you want to say anything, Liz? Oh, yes. Kim will kill me if I don't say this. She has another survey for you to fill out. More homework. It's a quiz. I hope you're paying attention. There's a lot of questions about the video. Just to kind of a wrap up, let us know how you feel at the end of the meeting versus how you felt at the beginning. So, thanks, Dave. I can always count on you. I appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.